good enough. People at the low end of the market, not real sophisticated needs. Okay. What happened to Toyota? Every year they made their products a little better. Okay, they moved up market. They moved up market, they moved up market, they moved up market. And you know what you find is in this distribution of customers for which is good enough, they serve more and more of the market. Actually what happens is they keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. They introduce Lexus. Make lots of money. Right? And then the next thing they did is, the most profitable American customers are people who buy pickup trucks. So they followed General Motors and Ford and Chrysler making big pickup trucks, SUVs. People like me call those urban assault vehicles. Okay, so they make more and more. And if you look at actually sales figures in the U.S., Toyota is suffering just like GM and Ford because they just moved up and moved up and moved up, and go up market. But meanwhile, these people, especially like Korean companies, come into the States and they say, quality's not as good. It costs half as much. Good enough. All right, so this is what disruption theory is all about. And Christensen first researched it on disk drives. What happened? He found out that people who made 14-inch disk drives, they go better and better, more and more capacity. No company who was successful at 14-inch disk drives successfully made the transition to 8-inch disk drives. Right? It came along, not enough capacity initially. Eventually, it was good enough. No company who was successful at 8-inch disk drives successfully transitioned to 5 1/4 inch. Okay. And the only way the guys who were successful at 5 1/4 transitioned to 3 1/2 inch disk drives is they bought the successful 3 1/2 inch disk drive companies. Otherwise, they would have gone away too. All right, so you see this a lot. All right, so it's in these so-called sustaining innovations, usually the incumbent wins. If there's only competition based on that, but in disruptive innovation, by and large, new entrants win. So that's kind of the other major theory here. We talk about technology overshoot. I'm giving the customer more technology than he or she can use, or more importantly, is willing to pay for. Okay, and you see this over and over and over again. The people who made mini computers said, those workstations will never be good enough. They were wrong. And the workstation guys said, those PCs, they'll never be good enough. I'm going to skip this one, because you've probably seen that. But, I thought I had a chart to start. But, so none of the workstation guys survived, and then, they'll never be replaced by PCs. Well, guess what? Your average notebook PC has more power than a great supercomputer, 30 years ago. Technology improved. So now let's combine some of these theories because it's relevant to this case. So, it's kind of, in the early days of these independent proprietary architectures like mainframes, everything was customized. Right? When you go to a modular architecture, usually you have to make some compromises. All right? Because, there's interfaces, cable's not thick enough, or whatever. You have to make some compromises. So usually modular architectures aren't good enough. Okay, but you know what? They get better, and they get better, and they get better, and they tend to disrupt. Okay, so what happens is normally these kind of integrated systems compete by improving function and reliability. These modular architectures compete by customization or speed or responsiveness, just as Dell did on desktop PCs. So it's kind of an interesting case. Okay, so now let's go back to the quantum case. Having looked at those two theories, say, how might we want to apply some of this stuff? Okay, and just as a backdrop, some of the theories in general, why we picked this case we're interested value chain evolution of the notebook computer industry, but we're also interested in all these other things which